Oh, you don't have to hold it. It's gotta be shaky.
No, but then I'll put it down afterwards. But I can't see your face otherwise. Silly. Because you're too close.
Thanks. Are we started?
Yeah, I've already started filming ages ago.
Cool. So, hello. You cut this, right? Cool.
Yeah, sure.
It's gonna be in the
I'll
video.
cut it. Yeah, I'll cut it. Yeah, sure.
I'm not gonna make this long enough for you to get it. I'm gonna add this whole thing. So, hello, I'm Petros Usos. I top 32 at the UK Nationals with Earth Machine, Mystery Machines. It's the build also has Dark Monsters in it, so some people call it Mystery Machines, but people call it Earth Machines. I just call it MIT, Machina Infinita Train. And, yep. So, for the cards and ratios and all that, we play the 12 ways to get to normal summons and the normal summon. So it's 3 gear frame. This searches spare and gets to a gear gigant from search your harvester, which is what you need, and you summon it by a platinum gadget. 3 harvester, my favorite boy, makes Zeus within level 10. It's a full combo on its own.
And you had to write out the translation, right?
I have to write out the translation. I even have it with me.
Did a lot of people have to ask you for it?
No, actually, I was only asked once, and this would be the translation of it. It was my friend, yes. So, 3 redeployment gets you to 2 Machina cards, monsters most of the time, which is really good. If that resolves, you probably win. 3 heavy forward. It loses a draw, but it's usually a really good ash bait when you want to resolve the Machina stuff to get to the infinite track, so you don't really need heavy forward to resolve first. And now for the weird 2-ofs and 1-ofs, because this deck has a lot of them. We start with the 2 Trencher. 2 is really good for the follow-up. It's also level 5. I don't play Ancon Drill, which some people do to make the Dingirsu play. I don't even play Dingirsu. Trencher is really good for the follow-up. It gets you back to Stormer. It gets you a Harvester to search Dozer, and then you search Stormer again. And Stormer searches whatever you may need, and you can do almost anything at that point. Your turn 3 is amazing with this deck. If your turn 1 combo goes well, you win. 2 Derrick Crane. I like the chain blocking way too much to cut this to 1, like some people do. Trains are really good in this deck. They just make the power hitters that make choo-choo trains that kill people, which is the best part of this, honestly. And the 1 bullet train. This is the resource loop that gets the deck rolling. And it's an extender, and it's like the best discard for Fortress, just summon it back, get something back in end phase. These 2 kill. So now for the 1 of Machinas, it's Wind Force 46.
It's just stupid.
46! It's just good. It's 46, it floats like hell. My opponents try to access code kill me, and they pop this, I float into more. They try to kill these, they get Citadel back, and I get like 4 or 5 floats in a turn, so they cannot kill me via an access code. So next turn I just like do the whole thing again. And this is usually bigger than an average access code, that's 4,300. Citadel, best boy, floats into everything. Ghost Ogre on this deck is useless. Destruction in general is really bad, that's why I have a really good matchup versus PK and Guardian Chimera summoned on versus Despia. Fortress, best extender. Not once per turn, it can pop cards. Even the effect that Hand Loops 1 came up. Summon it every game. Is just, if you have access to these, you can break boards way too easily. The brick and brick number 2, you have to play these. I've seen box a lot. I've seen Anclas Pair, I think equally, but this is at least a normal summon that does something. This is just bad. It's 2k defense though, which came up. My opponent's Brave board could not get over 2k because the token is 2k and Rider is 2k. So the 1 Dozer, yep, just 1, even though it's a best extender in the deck. It locks you into Earth Machine, which sometimes can be hurtful, especially when you want to summon Wind Force, which is dark, or Anclas Prayer, which is dark. And the rest, 1 Hunger. The really good card, like Pot of Avarice in a monster that's extremely searchable. This guy hates it. It's just way too good. The 1 Regulus, because I can only afford 1, I barely got it like last week, didn't get any testing with it. It worked. I still don't like the combo where you replace this with Bullet Train on the Harvester line, but it's still a really good card to get off of River Stormer in a single fight world. I only play 1.
No, but would you play 2 if you had to?
I Probably. I would play 2 and maybe 1 this Colosseum.
You should have said that. I would have
Yeah, it's all good. So for the hand traps, 3 draws. This was really good in the main deck. I barely settled it out because most of my matchups were losing to draw, like Flounderies. Even Despia loses to draw if they don't draw pending. What else? Drytron. This versus Drytron was MVP. Versus Tri-Brigade, which I happen to play in Bird Up, so you stop their searches, they can't do shit. Imperm, because it's one of the best hand traps. If you draw this as a 6th card, it baits a negate. Usually bait a Griffin Rider, and then just do everything else. If they put it back in the deck, it's still fine, because they're probably not going to have another turn. This deck kills easily. These are big numbers. Okay, and power spells, 2 schedule. I should be playing 3, probably, but 2 has been amazing. You don't want to see it going first, but going second is, if this resolves, you probably win. 2 Cosmics versus Scythe versus Faithful versus Standby Phase Banish Dreaming Town, so they don't normal summon in main phase only. It used to be good versus Pandemonium as well, that's why it's still in the deck. Versus Floodgates, Tikabo is annoying. Cosmic is just generally good. I didn't have Eldritch matchups or anything that back row heavy, but it was good when I needed it. I always side out 1 if the matchup is not good for back row, because you always make the mine out. Some people just play mine. It's this format. I don't. Spoilers. The 1 Cowboy, best card of the game. That's it. It's just really good. And now for the traps, 3 strike, self-explanatory. It's even good when you're going second because you strike a bolt. Your monsters are way too big. Your opponent needs to make access code or commit to a big monster to get rid of yours. And if you strike that summon, they lose 3 or 4 cards most of the time, which is really good. And the 2 overdrive, most people cut this. I don't get why. I really like the recycling of it. Post game 1, I do side 1 out. Usually play something from my side that's probably more impactful than overdrive, especially if I know I'm going second. I also side strikes out. But game 1, these are amazing, everything. The only thing would change with the deck, probably cut on overdrive for maybe a second Regulus. And that would be the extra deck is
Yes, I do.
3 Goliaths, my favorite boy. Just when in doubt, make Goliath, put them all in the grave, put them back in the deck, draw 2. This can attach to Zeus, which is really funny, and it makes it unable to be destroyed by card effects, which is really funny as well. The Link 2's Platinum Gadget, it's really important for the Gear Frame combo. Ballista, it searches the box and any other infinite track that has 500 attack or defense. Also make something 0, which is really important. It helps you kill. Because why not? You can pop a head forward or overdrive, put it in the grave. Genius, this is so good going second. There's also the turn 1 combo with it, where you can use it to search Regulus or any big machine. If you pop your own Ruin Force, which there's a line for that, and it's just 2.5 cards. Angerknuckle, my end board. I just usually end on this, and somehow it's enough for me to get to a turn 3. People like see this and like, so it doesn't do anything. Like, no, it doesn't. Technically, it doesn't. But I get a monster that's gonna give me 2 more cards next turn. So that's good enough most of the time. It also helps you get to a level 10 that's in your grave when you just summon it. For the Xyz, 1 Gigant to search the Harvester. River Stormer, so good card. It's generic. Never came up, like I never summoned a Lancy or something to make it, but it's fun, it's generic to me. It searches Regulus, searches any Earth Machine really, so it gives you access to your entire deck. Enter Blasphemy, this is what I side out for a card in my side deck, which I'll explain later. But it's good for going first. Going first turn 1, you banish 1 card from your opponent's hand, you get to see what they're playing, you can adjust your board accordingly. Slicer, it's an Earth Machine, so you can summon it under the Dozer lock, pops cards. If it destroys something, you can attach it, so it can make big Zeus. Gustav, for the OTK, burns 2k, Jerry Crane pops a card, amazing. Choo Choo Dora, one of my favorite cards in the deck. 4k defense is nothing easy to get rid of, and it's just big, unaffected. Has a really funny and long name. Every time I write a deck list with it, it gets annoying, but I still love the card. Liba, just kills through almost anything, becomes 6k. I could kind of attach my tills to it to make it attack even more times. It's really good. Also, this can just be put on top of this in main too, just to make a bigger Zeus. Speaking of Zeus, I don't think I need to explain that. It's just a really good card. You can make it in main phase 1 with Harvester in level 10 because it makes their levels 12, which is so funny. Zeusing and then going to battle phase for whatever reason.
Also, though, did you max anyone in time?
I did.
You did.
I did max my own friend in time because it was in time and we ended up tying because of it. So I had to. I know it's a scammy move, but Konami forced us to. I didn't slow play for it, it just happened. Disclaimer. So, 3 Nibs on the side. Nibs is still good. No matter what they say, Nibs is good. There's always going to be Rogue everywhere. Blade versus Dinos. It don't really come up versus them, but it came in versus other decks. Nib is good to bait and negate. It's just a good card, I don't need to explain it. It destroys the entire board. 3 Lancia. Amazing versus Despia, Amazing versus Thunderies, which I faced 2 of each. Amazing versus Tri, which also faced 2. So it really helps. Yeah, it's also level 5. You can make River Storm if, I don't know, you're desperate. 2 Ruler. I have to cut 1. I would normally be playing 3. I have to cut 1 for the extra deck card that I'm citing, which is, since we're here, Nightmare Phoenix. This is because Despia players like this motherfucker side in Banshee and Zombie World, and just I sided this in game 2 and 3, make it, pop Zombie World, keep going with my plays. It's usually not that bad of a thing to get rid of. It doesn't give me zones, which is a bit annoying, but there are ways to play around with my own Phoenix, yeah. 3D Inverter, really good card. I don't know if he's playing anything. Versus Sorcerer, versus Despia is just good. And 3 Evenly for going second because my gear frame combo does not require any banishes, so my opponent will not think of siding Lancia in game 2 and 3 because they didn't see me banish much. So they're not gonna have a counter to Evenly, not at least in their hand. And that would be all.
Was there any matchups that were like extremely difficult? Because you started quite badly. You lost the first 2 games.
I started very badly. I lost the first 2 rounds and then I just won out and had 1 tie. I lost because I bricked mainly, but also Flannery's. Won the die roll, made a barrier statue. I couldn't out that, so there's that. I lost game 1 and 3 obviously because game 2 I went first, so I could just make my board. Those were my hard. Flannery's was always my hardest matchup somehow. It's of the annoying barrier statue. Yeah, all the games I lost to either my bricks or my opponent's statue because in top 32 I just bricked on 4 traps. And then I bricked on 5 traps game 2. I didn't see any normal summons the entire round. So yeah.
Right. Round's about to be started. Yeah? You got any shout-outs?
Yeah, I would like to shout out my annoying friend Adam, my friend. We shared a bed. I didn't want this to be online, but we shared a bed. It's fine because we were European. We're not gay. I'd like to shout out my friend Gunfield for helping me with the theorizing the deck. My friend Jasper for driving me all the way to fucking Manchester. That was 5 hours away. We stayed at her place as well. I'd like to shout out Suze, South Sea Modeling Games, the locals we're currently at. I'd like to shout out my friends from back home, from Cyprus, Team Feed, for playtesting with me and shit like that in the past days. It's a small community, but because it's small, we know each other and it's all heartfelt. And I would like to shout out my girlfriend for always being there for emotional support when I was losing the first 2 rounds.
Is that what you was doing? You was going to call it?
Yeah, it helps. It helps. Find your emotional support. It helps you win. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, bye.